Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into money secrets of the super wealthy.
Ooh.
We've got like research and stories and all this stuff about, like what's the real difference between rich and wealthy?
Right.
Is it just the numbers
Yeah, is it just the bank account?
or is there something more?
There's got to be more to it, right?
Yeah. And like, have you ever noticed that we use rich and wealthy? Like they mean the same thing.
Yeah, almost interchangeably.
And this book is like, no.
It really pushes back on that, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
remember Michael Sonnenfeld,
Oh, yeah.
the Tiger 21 guy?
Ah,
He makes a really interesting distinction.
okay.
Like, being rich is a number.
Okay.
It's just your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
But wealthy, that's a feeling.
Oh.
It's like deep down security.
Yeah.
Like knowing you've got enough to cover your needs and like whatever you want to do.
So like rich is kind of temporary.
Yeah, maybe flashy.
Yeah.
But wealthy is like, you've made it.
Yeah.
You're set. Okay.
And there's this story in the book
Okay.
about this guy, the author meets.
Okay.
Picture this. Brand new Mercedes SL 500.
Okay.
Top down.
Looking sharp.
Totally successful businessman, right?
Yeah.
But get this.
What?
The guy was drowning in debt,
Oh, no.
about to lose everything.
Wow. So looks can be deceiving.
Totally.
It really makes you wonder how many people are like faking it
Right. Putting on that show.
while secretly freaking out about money.
Exactly.
That's where the author brings up this thin green line idea, which isn't like a real line.
No, it's more of a concept.
But it's that difference
Corporation.
between people who are actually wealthy.
Financially secure.
Yeah. And everyone else.
It doesn't matter how much you make.
So crossing that line is about like changing your whole money mindset?
Yeah, it's not just hitting some magic number.
Okay.
It's about thinking long term.
Right.
Really understanding how money works and making choices for like lasting security.
That makes me think about the author's background.
Growing up poor.
Yeah, in Ludlow, Massachusetts.
Right.
You can see how that, like, even after he was successful.
Shaped how he felt about money.
Yeah, totally.
This is where money scripts come in.
Money scripts.
It's like these beliefs we have about money, often from like when we were kids. They affect how we earn, spend, save, invest.
Even if we don't realize it.
Exactly.
So the author learned to be careful with money.
Super cautious. Yeah.
Maybe even a little too frugal.
Maybe.
Which helped him build wealth.
Right.
But also made him scared to actually enjoy it.
He's like those early lessons got stuck.
Uh-huh.
Even with plenty of money, he still felt that fear of scarcity.
It makes you wonder what money scripts I've picked up along the way.
Right.
Without even realizing it.
We all have them, probably.
Maybe we should all do some self-reflection.
Yeah, self-awareness is huge.
Okay, so we've got rich versus wealthy.
The thin green line.
Right, and those hidden money scripts.
Running the show.
What else does this deep dive uncover?
Well, let's talk about how we actually handle money.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how you mentally, like, categorize your money?
What do you mean?
Like, this is for rent, this is for groceries.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Even though it all comes from the same place.
I even have a separate account for vacation savings.
There you go. That's mental accounting.
Okay.
Richard Thaler, this behavioral economist, he talks about it.
Okay.
And it turns out we make better financial decisions
Really?
when we do that, when we divide the money up.
But isn't that kind of irrational?
From like a pure economic standpoint,
Yeah.
you'd think so.
Right.
But psychologically, it works.
Okay.
The author talks about being a teenager, and he was budgeting meticulously
For what?
everything. Gas,
Yeah.
food, golf, even dates.
He was budgeting for dates as a teenager.
Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
Economists might say it's all the same money,
Yeah.
but that compartmentalizing
Right.
helped him build good habits early on.
It's like even if it's not perfectly logical,
Right.
it gives us permission to spend,
In limits.
but still make sure we're saving.
Exactly.
Right.
But then the author gets into investing.
Okay.
And let's just say he didn't start out as a financial whiz.
Oh, yeah, those early investing blunders.
Yeah.
Like buying all those tech stocks at the peak of the dot-com bubble.
Ouch.
Hey.
Classic rookie mistake.
Yeah.
But everyone makes mistakes.
You're-
It's all part of learning.
And speaking of learning, he talks about how common investor biases can really mess us up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you ever noticed how people panic and sell their stocks when the market dips?
And then buy back in when prices are higher.
Yes.
That's loss aversion.
Loss aversion.
The pain of losing money feels worse than the pleasure of gaining it.
Interesting.
And then there's confirmation bias,
What's that?
where we look for info that supports what we already believe,
Okay.
even if we're wrong.
So even when we think we're being rational,
our emotions get in the way.
Yeah.
And it's not just our own biases.
Right.
We're bombarded with information.
Stock tips, market predictions.
Yeah, gurus promising easy riches.
Which reminds me of Terence O'Dean's research on stock tips.
Oh, yeah.
His findings show that individual investors consistently underperform the market.
Really?
Yeah, because they chase hot stocks based on bad info.
We're always looking for patterns.
Especially with money.
Yeah. Thinking we have the secret formula.
But it usually leads to bad decisions.
Too often.
So we've got to be careful about where we get our financial advice.
For sure.
Make sure it's based on research, not hype.
Solid research.
Yeah.
Successful investing is about making informed decisions.
Right.
Not emotional reactions.
But even when we know better, there's this sneaky trap.
What's that?
The Bordeaux dilemma.
Ooh, tell me more.
It's like that first taste of something really expensive.
Okay.
That changes how you see everything else.
I see.
You splurge on a $300 bottle of wine,
Okay.
and suddenly those $20 bottles you used to love just aren't as good anymore.
They pale in comparison.
Right. And it's not just wine.
No, it could be anything.
Clothes, vacations, cars?
Once you've had that luxury,
Yeah.
it's hard to go back.
And that can be dangerous.
Especially if it leads to debt.
Which brings us to Darien, Connecticut.
Okay.
This is where the author shows that even rich people...
And fall into financial traps.
Exactly. Perfect town, beautiful homes.
And tons of debt hiding behind those perfect lawns.
The author uses Darien to show how easy it is to get caught up in that keeping up with the Joneses thing.
Right.
Combine that with risky mortgages, like those interest-only adjustable REIT ones.
IOARMs.
And it's a recipe for disaster when the market crashes.
Oh, yeah.
So even if you live in a wealthy area, overspending and relying on future income
Can backfire.
big time.
It's a reminder that no matter how much you have,
Yeah.
living beyond your means can have serious consequences.
What's crazy is that even in a place like Darien,
Where image is everything.
people are too scared to downsize.
Even when it makes financial sense.
It's that fear of judgment
That pressure to keep up appearances.
that keeps people trapped.
In debt and stress.
Okay, so we've talked about the psychology of wealth,
Right.
understanding money scripts, the dangers of overspending.
Keeping up appearances.
But we can't talk about money without talking about taxes.
Oh, taxes. They're not the most fun topic.
But they're a big part of wealth.
That's the one.
And what makes this whole tax thing even more interesting
What's that?
is the author's run-in with Brad Birkenfeld.
The UBS banker.
Yeah, the one who exposed all those tax evasion schemes.
Right. He was helping super rich clients hide millions from the IRS.
Using offshore accounts and all sorts of shady stuff.
He spilled the beans, though.
Yeah, got himself in trouble.
But exposed a lot of secrets.
It's like a financial thriller.
It is.
But what's the takeaway for us regular folks?
Right.
Should we all be obsessed with minimizing our taxes?
Not necessarily.
Really?
The author actually says that focusing just on minimizing taxes isn't always the best move.
Okay.
Sometimes it's better to accept a higher tax bill
Okay.
if it means a better quality of life.
Like what?
Good schools, good health care, a strong economy.
So it's about looking at the bigger picture.
Exactly.
How taxes fit into our overall well-being.
Right.
And let's not forget that taxes can be sneaky.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that example of buying an iPad and then realizing how much the price goes up with all the taxes?
Taxes on taxes on taxes.
It really adds up.
Without us even noticing.
It's a good reminder to think about the true cost of things.
Not just the sticker price.
But let's shift gears for a second and talk about spending wisely.
Okay.
Because knowing how to spend is as important as knowing how to save.
Absolutely.
And who better to illustrate this than Paul Posluszny?
The NFL player.
Yeah, he lives super frugally.
Even with a multi-million-dollar contract.
I know, it's amazing.
Talk about a role model.
He could be living large.
Right.
But he knows that wealth in sports can be fleeting.
He's avoiding that broke athlete stereotype.
By saving for the future.
And not giving into overspending.
Even though he can afford it.
Exactly.
He's proof that you don't have to sacrifice enjoyment.
To be responsible.
It's all about making conscious choices.
Right. Now, on the flip side, we have Don Ross.
The shower door guy.
Yeah, the entrepreneur.
Who got into
He
winemaking.
poured his passion and profits into it.
His story shows how important it is to align your spending with your values.
Yeah.
And your passions.
He shows you don't have to be a miser to be wealthy.
Yay.
Sometimes it's about investing in experiences.
That bring you joy.
Exactly.
It's about finding that balance.
Between pursuing your dreams.
And being financially secure.
Exactly. And that leads us to our next topic. The education race.
Oh, yeah.
That pressure parents feel to give their kids every advantage.
Even if it means spending a fortune on private schools and tutors.
It starts so early these days.
It's overwhelming.
The author contrasts two approaches.
Okay.
First, there's the privileged sons model.
Like at the Westover School.
Yeah, with their finance
They're
programs.
basically training future Wall Streeters.
Giving them the skills and connections.
To succeed in finance.
Right.
And then there's Susan Beacham.
With a totally different approach.
She's all about teaching kids to be entrepreneurs.
Self-reliant.
Create their own opportunities.
Instead of relying on family connections or fancy schools.
It's about fostering that entrepreneurial spirit.
That hustle.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
Research shows that a child's success is more linked to a father's intelligence and education
Than his income.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
All right.
It's about passing down knowledge and fostering a love of learning.
Makes you wonder if all this focus on elite colleges is really the best way.
Yeah. Are we creating a generation of entitled kids who can't handle failure?
It's like we're so focused on the destination.
Yeah, you forget about the journey.
Teaching important life skills like perseverance and hard work.
And that brings us to the entitlement conundrum.
Oh, boy.
Because raising entitled kids is a recipe for disaster.
Financially and personally.
The author talks about Randy Fertel.
The trust fund recipient.
Yeah, he struggles with his family's wealth.
It's a cautionary tale.
It shows that inherited money without the right guidance
Can lead to aimlessness.
It's a reminder that true wealth isn't just about having money.
Right.
It's about having a purpose.
Something bigger than yourself.
Fertel's experience shows the importance of parental involvement.
Teaching kids gratitude.
And instilling a strong work ethic.
Regardless of their background.
It's about raising kids who appreciate hard work.
Even if they never have to worry about money.
It's about making sure they understand that wealth is a privilege.
No, right.
And that it comes with responsibilities. Which makes me think about how we model financial values for our own kids.
Oh, yeah.
Are we teaching them to be responsible?
Or are we passing down our own anxieties?
It's a question worth thinking about.
Our actions speak louder than words.
And our kids are always watching.
They are.
But let's move on to something more uplifting.
Yeah.
Philanthropy.
Giving back.
It turns out that even the super wealthy
Want to make a difference.
The author tells the story of Donald and Barbara Jonas.
The art collectors.
Yeah, they used the money from selling their art
to fund the Jonas Center for Nursing Excellence.
It's a great example of traditional philanthropy.
Giving back to a cause they cared about.
And what's cool is that they focused on nursing.
Which is often overlooked.
They saw a need and took action.
It shows that philanthropy doesn't have to be about grand gestures.
Sometimes it's about quiet support.
But as they found out,
yeah,
getting others to donate can be tough.
Even for a good cause.
The author talks about how wealthy philanthropists tend to stick to their own causes.
And often prioritize international issues.
Over domestic ones.
Which makes me think about Pierre Omidyar.
And his work with microlending.
Yeah, he's using technology to help people in developing countries.
Empowering them to lift themselves out of poverty.
It's a different approach to charity.
It's about empowerment, not handouts.
And it aligns with what we were talking about before.
Teaching self-reliance.
Exactly. And you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
Research suggests that giving to charity
can actually make us wealthier.
It sounds counterintuitive.
It does.
But studies show that people who give
tend to be more financially successful.
Maybe giving creates a sense of abundance.
And gratitude.
Which spills over into other areas of life.
It's like the more you give, the more you receive.
Exactly. And finally, we come to money and stress.
Because even with lots of money,
it can still be a source of anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when I went to that financial therapy clinic in Kansas?
How could I forget?
I thought I was so calm talking about my finances.
Right.
But those biofeedback sensors showed a different story.
You were sweating bullets.
I know. My heart was racing. My palms were clammy.
All because of money talk.
It's amazing how our bodies react.
Even when we think we're fine.
It shows how deep our emotional responses to money are.
And it makes sense.
Money is tied to our basic needs.
Security, stability.
Providing for ourselves and our families.
It's no wonder that even a small financial issue
can trigger major stress.
And those anxieties can be passed down.
Through generations.
The author talks about his mother.
Who was always worried about money.
Even when there was no need.
It's like we inherit those money scripts.
Those beliefs that shape our behavior.
Both good and bad.
So as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
the key
takeaway is that money is emotional.
we can't ignore those feelings.
Absolutely.
And understanding those emotions, those money scripts.
Is the first step to a healthier relationship with money.
It's about becoming aware.
And challenging those beliefs.
Because if we're not careful,
Those scripts can sabotage us.
we might make choices that seem logical.
But are actually driven by fear or insecurity. We've covered a lot here.
From rich versus wealthy.
To the power of emotions.
It's been fascinating.
It's true. We have covered a lot. And this book, it's not just about becoming a millionaire.
Right.
It's about, like, real financial well-being.
No matter how much you make.
Exactly. It's about finding that place.
Where I feel secure.
In control.
Yeah.
And, like, free to do what matters most to you.
And the author's own story.
Yeah.
Like, from feeling kind of inadequate around those super rich investors to finding his own version of peace.
Financial peace.
It's pretty inspiring.
It is.
It shows that we all have those money scripts.
Those beliefs holding us back.
Even when we're successful.
It's about recognizing them.
Yeah.
And choosing to change them.
So we've got to figure out what's really driving us.
Are we making choices out of fear?
Or scarcity.
Or are we open to abundance?
Possibility.
That's the big question. And this is where the book gets really interesting.
Okay.
It dives into the emotional side of money.
Like at that financial therapy clinic.
That's Kansas.
With all the biofeedback sensors.
And you're hooked up to all those wires.
Talk about a reality check.
I know, right?
I thought I was totally zen talking about my finances.
You seem so calm.
But those sensors...
Oh, it's a different story.
My heart rate was through the roof.
Sweaty palms.
It was crazy.
It just shows how much our bodies react.
Yeah, even when we think we're fine.
And all goes back to those money scripts.
They're running the show without us knowing.
The author gives some great examples.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like his grandfather who refused to use banks.
Because of the Great Depression.
Exactly.
Wow.
A traumatic event can shape how we see money.
Even when things have changed.
Those scripts get wired into our brains.
It makes you think, what scripts am I carrying around?
Right.
Without even knowing.
Maybe some journaling, some reflection.
To figure it all out.
Self-awareness is key.
To financial freedom.
Absolutely. Once you know those beliefs.
Then you can challenge the ones that aren't helping.
Because they can really sabotage us.
We could be making choices that seem logical.
But are actually driven by fear.
Insecurity.
Exactly. And it's not just about our own scripts.
Right.
It's also about seeing them in others.
Especially in our relationships.
It all goes back to the author's experience with Tiger 21.
Where he realized even super rich people have money issues.
It's humbling, isn't it?
It is.
Money doesn't magically fix everything.
Sometimes it creates new problems.
Especially if we haven't dealt with the emotional stuff.
The author talks about some Tiger 21 members.
Yeah.
Who hoarded their wealth.
Even though they had millions.
Living way below their means.
It's like they're still stuck in that scarcity mindset.
Even with abundance all around.
And then there are those who go the opposite way.
What do you mean?
Obsessed with making more and more.
Even if it hurts their relationships.
That workaholic mentality.
That can be a trap.
Driven by insecurity.
That fear of never having enough.
It's a never-ending treadmill.
Always chasing more, never satisfied.
That's why it's so important to define what wealth means to you.
Not just about money.
It's about balance.
Between financial security
and emotional well-being.
Living a life that feels right.
Aligned with your values, goals, passions.
And sometimes that means letting go of the chase.
Focusing on what truly matters.
This is where the author's talk with Brad Klontz gets really interesting.
The financial psychologist.
Yeah, remember that string exercise?
Oh, man, the string exercise.
Oh, it was intense.
It was powerful, though.
It was Klontz had the author take this string.
Representing his lifespan.
And then cut off sections.
The time he'd already lived.
Time spent working, sleeping, all of it.
What was it like?
Seeing those little pieces of string representing my time left.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
It was a wake-up call.
It makes you question your priorities.
How am I spending my time?
It's about facing the reality of our limited time.
Making conscious choices.
About how we spend it.
It's not about being afraid of death.
No.
It's about appreciating the present.
Living a meaningful life.
And Klontz really pushed the author
to look at his money scripts.
And think about the long-term effects
of his decisions.
It's about making sure our financial choices
match our values.
And not sacrificing our well-being.
For the sake of wealth.
Because true wealth isn't just about money.
It's about freedom.
To live a life that feels authentic.
Joyful.
Aligned with our dreams.
And sometimes that means making choices that don't seem financially smart.
Like what?
Like pursuing a passion project.
That might not make money.
Or taking time off work to travel.
And be with family.
It's about remembering that time is precious.
Spending it wisely. So we've talked about self-awareness,
Challenging those scripts.
aligning choices with our values
What else can we do?
to have a healthier relationship with money.
One of the best tools we have
Yeah.
is our ability to choose how we respond to challenges.
Because let's be real, life throws us curveballs.
Financial setbacks happen.
Oh, I know it. Unexpected expenses.
Dips in income.
It can be stressful,
It's natural to feel that.
but we can't let those feelings control us.
It's not about avoiding setbacks altogether.
It's about being resilient,
Having the skills to navigate them.
having a solid foundation.
The confidence to handle anything.
That's where a budget comes in.
An emergency fund.
Having those systems in place
Healthy habits.
to guide us through good times and bad
Because true financial security,
isn't about never facing hardship
it's about knowing we can bounce back.
stronger than before,
It's about embracing the whole journey.
with all the ups and downs,
Knowing that financial well-being,
is a lifelong pursuit.
not a finish line.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive.
The psychology of wealth,
Money scripts,
aligning choices with values.
and being resilient.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah, it really has. And you know what stuck with me through this whole thing?
What's that?
It's not just how much money you have.
Right.
It's really your mindset.
Your attitude towards it.
Are you coming at it from, like, fear and scarcity?
Yeah.
Or are you open to abundance and possibility?
I think that's so key. Because it's our beliefs about money that shape our reality.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, almost.
Totally. If we think there's never enough,
Mm-hmm.
that we'll always be struggling,
Yeah.
well, that's probably what'll happen.
But if we can change our mindset
To one of abundance,
to believe we can create financial security and freedom,
then we open up so many possibilities.
it's not about pretending money doesn't matter.
No.
It's about approaching it with, like, a sense of power.
Knowing we can make choices that are good for us.
And I love how this book doesn't just focus on, like, the practical stuff.
Budgeting, investing.
It goes deeper into the emotional side,
Yeah, the psychological
the
stuff.
things that trip us up.
That's what makes it so different.
It's not just about money management,
It's about a whole life of wealth.
which is so much more than just dollars and cents.
Exactly.
And I think that's important for everyone.
No matter where you are financially,
Starting out working towards goals,
even managing lots of wealth,
understanding the psychology of money is crucial.
it all comes back to that.
It's about knowing those subconscious beliefs.
And money scripts.
Which are driving us.
And then making choices that line up with our values and goals.
It's a journey, though, right?
It is.
It's not about reaching some perfect state.
No, it's about constantly learning, evolving our relationship with money,
As we go through life,
finding that balance,
between enjoying now, planning for later.
making sure our choices support our well-being.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into money secrets of the super wealthy, the big thing I've learned, it's not about becoming a millionaire or
Yeah.
following some strict rules.
It's about that healthy relationship with money,
Yeah.
one that supports the life you want.
That's a message for everyone.
It really is.
It's about remembering that true wealth.
It's about so much more than just your bank balance.
It's about living a life that feels rich and meaningful.
full of purpose, connection,
And that's a wealth we can all build.
no matter what.
It all starts with changing our mindset.
Absolutely.
Well, that was fantastic. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
I hope you all found it as insightful as I did.
Me too.
And to everyone listening,
Yeah.
keep exploring, keep questioning, keep diving deep.
Until next time.
See you then.